Welcome back to Badass Websites here in BOMU. We're currently in Module 3, Optimizing Your Website, Lesson 2, Optimizing for Traffic. In this lesson, you will learn how to optimize your website for traffic with SEO. Search engine optimization. Let's dive in. Search engine optimization, or SEO, is a strategy used to optimize your website content so it's more easily found on search engines. So when people are searching for a specific topic that you cover using Google search, you want to be able to show up in the search results, and SEO is going to help you do that. There are two types of SEO every website needs. First, there's on-page SEO, and then there's off-page SEO. On-page SEO involves optimizing your website itself and determines what a page on your website ranks for. So think of it this way. If you write a blog post about a specific topic, say how to cook macaroni and cheese in an Instant Pot, okay? There's a lot of food bloggers out there. This is a popular recipe. A lot of bloggers have especially if they're known for using the Instant Pot. So if someone wanted to write about that topic, they would want their blog post to show up in search results when someone searches how to make macaroni and cheese in an Instant Pot or a macaroni and cheese Instant Pot recipe, okay? The on-page SEO you do will determine what your post will actually rank for when someone performs a search, okay? So if you want to rank for macaroni and cheese recipes in the Instant Pot, your on-page SEO will help you rank for that. Your off-page SEO involves building the authority and popularity of your domain and determines how high your page will rank on Google. Okay? Once you rank for a topic, say macaroni and cheese Instant Pot recipe, then Google must determine how high up to place you in the content search results. And off-page SEO, because it takes into account the authority and popularity of your site, that is what determines how high you will rank. And the higher you rank, the better. To Google, they will always prioritize the most popular and authoritative site. So essentially, it's looking at for how many inbound links, so other sites linking to your site that you have to your content, meaning how many other authoritative sites are linking back to your content. And it doesn't mean just any old site. You want to have a lot of inbound links, but you want to prioritize links that have a higher domain authority. So when we're talking about ranking, it means you want to show up here instead of here, okay? The closest you are to page 1, the better, and the higher you are up on the page, the better. Okay? Now, quickly, in this lesson, we'll be primarily focusing on on-page SEO, although both are very important. So let's talk about a quick on-page SEO checklist. You have keywords, which we'll talk about in a second. Your title can affect your on-page SEO. Heading tags, which we talked about, the H1 tag, H2, H3. Image alt text, which we also covered in a previous lesson. Page meta description, which we'll talk about here in a minute, and your page URL. Okay, this is a basic beginner level SEO checklist for on-page SEO that you should keep in mind for all of your pages and content posts. So let's dive in. Let's talk about what a keyword is. A keyword is a search term someone would be using to search Google to find your content topic. So again, Google search term or phrase could be macaroni and cheese in the Instant Pot. So that is something that someone would be using, and you'd be using those keywords or those key phrases throughout your copy so that when Google crawls your page, like we talked about before, it's going to be able to read everything and say, hey, this page will rank really good for Instant Pot macaroni and cheese recipes, because it's talking about that a lot on the page. So that will determine what Google will rank you for. And that's what on-page SEO is. So let's talk about your page and post title. Your page and post title should include the keywords you're trying to optimize your page for, okay? For pages, you'll be able to give your page a separate title from what shows up at the top of your page, okay? Think of the page title versus the hero section header. Both are great places for keywords. So put your keywords in your page title and put it in the H1 heading on your page. While you won't have a hero section on your content posts, your post title itself should be optimized with keywords or phrases that you want to rank for. So your post title should have your keywords in it. Heading tags. So these are the headings and subheadings used throughout your page, typically referred to as H1, H2, H3, etc. And we talked about you have an H1. Typically, it's the topmost heading on a page is going to be the H1 tag, and there's only one of those per page. But throughout your page, you'll likely have multiple headings, and this is across all page and post types. Even content posts, you should have multiple H2 and below headings. So your title on a content post will be your H1 heading, and then everything inside of your content on a content post would be H2 and below. You should be optimizing your headings with your keywords, but don't over optimize, okay? You don't want that same phrase, macaroni and cheese Instant Pot recipe. You don't want that to show up over and over and over again so that the readability is affected, okay? Next, we're going to show you some heading tag examples. We looked at this in a previous example. But remember, there's only one H1 heading on a page. That's either the post title or that is the hero section heading for the page. So there's only one of those. The remaining tag headings should be H2 and below, and those are the headings within the content of the page. Okay, image alt text. We're going to review this because we talked about this before when we were talking about accessibility. So Google does look at page accessibility when it comes to ranking, and alt text is one of those things it looks at. Alt or alternative text is the text that shows up if an image can't be viewed. So it shows the text for screen readers, for people who use screen readers, and if for some reason an image can't load, the text will load in its place. Google looks at alt text for both accessibility, again, and SEO. In fact, part of SEO is making your site more accessible, so we want to make sure that we are paying attention to accessibility for SEO purposes, but also to make our content more accessible. And then the easier that it is for Google to read and understand, the more accessible your site likely is for those using a screen reader. So here's an example. Again, we saw this image in a different lesson. This is an example of how alt text can be used, and depending on your website platform where it will have you add this alt text for the image, it might change, but essentially it's the same thing. You want to make sure that it's descriptive enough that someone who can't see it will understand its purpose and what it is showing, and you can also optimize the image in the alt text with some keywords as well. Let's talk about page meta description. So this is the description of your page that shows up in Google searches. Your meta description should also include the keywords you're trying to rank for. Here is an example of how a blog post will show up on Google. So this is this is not necessarily just a blog post, but any page on your site will show up like this. The part outlined in red is the meta description for the page or the post, and the bolded words are the search terms used to find this post. So we want to make sure that we are optimizing the meta description, and you can see the title of the page also has the search terms in it. So we want to make sure that we are taking advantage of that space to also optimize with keywords. Your page URL, the URL you use for your page, is also a good place for your keywords. So this URL here, this is an example. It's SEO friendly because it has all of the search key terms our example post would want to rank for. So it says yourwebsite.com /best macaroni and cheese recipe Instant Pot. So all of those words are in your key phrase, and so you will likely rank for that. All right, let's talk about SEO resources. There are a ton of SEO resources out there. We've covered some points here, but if you'd like to find some tools to help you with SEO, with your on-page SEO especially, here are a couple tools that we can recommend. So if you're using WordPress, we highly recommend that you install the Yoast plugin. They do have a free version of this, and this is a great plugin because it does help you assess readability, and it will tell you if your post or page is optimized for SEO, and if it's not, it'll tell you what to do to fix it. It'll also allow you to set the meta description for your page and give you pointers on how to make the SEO for your post or page better. And then if you're not on WordPress, you might want to try the Semrush writing assistant for Google Docs. So this is an add-on for Google Docs, and basically what you can do is write your site content, your page content in the Google Doc, and it will go through and it will help you optimize the SEO of the content that you're writing. So you would first start in a Google Doc, write it all out, optimize it, and then you would put it in your site design. And that's it for this lesson. We talked a lot about on-page SEO and different aspects of SEO, the difference between SEO and on-page SEO and off-page SEO. So we covered how to optimize your website for traffic with SEO. That SEO is going to be bringing traffic through search engines, and so we want to make sure your website is optimized to do that for your business. In the next lesson, we're going to cover the basics of website data tracking with pixels and analytics. And again, another important lesson. You don't want to miss it. I'll see you there.